we're at the Royal Rumble 2012 here, and we went through a lot of the predictions before, which there should be a little graphic up on the screen right now and a little annotation to take you there if you want to go check that out. Uh, the three of us, Dace, myself, and Braden, went through the 1 to 30 entrances and the Iron Man, the most eliminations, quickest elimination, and the winner of the match. So, quick rundown of that. I'm not going to go through all that kind of stuff because that took up 25 minutes before. So, we all thought that Chris Jericho was going to win the Royal Rumble, and we'll elaborate a little bit on that right now. But as far as those little things, check out that video. But I wanted to go and get Mike's point of view of this real quick. If you still have your list of the 1 to 30, you can read them off real quick. If not, tell us what you had for the Iron Man, most eliminations, quickest elimination, and the winner.
Okay, for the Iron Man, I was going for the Miz, just because the fact he's coming at number one, and you don't really want to make the guy at number one like get eliminated quickly. Most eliminations going straight for Cena, because he's embracing the hate with his cum face, and the winner, Chris Jericho,
And the
just because of
quickest
the whole
elimination?
apocalypse.
Who did
What's
you have
up?
for quickest?
Oh, quickest. Quickest elimination has to go down to, I would say, either Santino or Heath Slater. Bit undecided on that one.
All right, so check out that video if you haven't seen it, and we're going to break down some more stuff here. First things first, the action stops. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of times in Royal Rumbles, they follow these same patterns where they have a couple things that happen all the time, and one of these is when a competitor comes out and everybody stops doing what they're doing and they focus just on that person. Some instances where Muhammad Hassan, when he came out, everybody double team. Well, there was about like 12 people in there, so it's not a double team, but everybody teamed up against him.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
There is the instance of the 2008 Royal Rumble where Jimmy Snuka and Piper came out and everybody stopped to watch them fight. There's even situations where in the past, CM Punk, Diesel, and Steve Austin eliminated. Oh, and the Undertaker eliminated people ahead of time, and then just kind of sat there and waited for the next person to come out. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the only situation for that of the action stopping is going to be Brodus Clay dancing, and I think he's going to be dancing with one of the nostalgia competitors, the Godfather, who is supposedly announced right now to be a part of the Royal Rumble. If that happens, I can see Cameron and Naomi dancing with the hose and doing something like that just for fun, and then it all gets ruined right afterwards, whoever comes out. But I'm not expecting anybody, the way that this Royal Rumble's booked, to eliminate a bunch of people and wait like Rikishi did or anything like that. So, do you guys have any ideas of what you think the action might stop, or do you think it's going to keep going the entire way?
What about
Um,
Kane?
What about Kane?
Simple. He's like this big villain at the moment. And he usually makes an impact at the Rumble. Who knows that he might come out, start destroying everybody, and and people just like run outside the ring and just watch him from the inside, try and sort of get the best of him, sort of thing.
Depending on how quick the Miz, like since he's starting off at number one, I don't see him leaving for a while. He's my Iron Man. I could see him kind of tossing out lower name stars similar to what CM Punk did in 2010. I don't know if he'll get on the mic and start talking, but I could see something like that happening during the early portion of the match. Or, like, as you said, like just some sort of wacky dance segment with Brodus Clay pretty well being the only two I can think of where the action stops completely. Because I don't think there's like a big enough surprise name where everybody who's in the ring just kind of stops and watches them return. They could have probably done that with Orton, but he's already coming back. Everybody knows he's back. So there's not going to be any big surprise return where everybody just kind of turns, stops, and watches that person come down to the ring.
See, I think there might be a surprise return. There's three that I can think could happen. A, just an Undertaker gone, just to like panic everybody and just look around, and then maybe he doesn't even come out. Two, Christian's return might stop play for a little bit.
Undertaker comes out with the gong, and then it's Spike Dudley.
Yeah, but Christian could be one, or three. Even maybe The Rock makes an appearance just to make an appearance and eliminate Cena real quick or something, and it just keeps going with him and takes him to the back or something. I don't know. Long
Or
shot.
Tony Mango comes out and everyone just looks at him.
Like, who the fuck's this guy?
Yeah. Didn't that guy make fun of me last week on his show?
Yes.
What the hell?
Let's kick his ass.
It becomes a shoot fight, and I get my ass kicked by everybody, especially the divas after bad mouthing them earlier.
Except Ultimate Warrior. I heard he's a bitch. You can take him out in one shot.
So that leads us to comic relief segment, which that would be hilarious, getting my ass kicked. But I gotta go with Brodus Clay on that one too. I can see Santino doing something funny, but not being necessarily the comic relief segment. I think he's just gonna, do some Cobra thing or something like that in the middle of nowhere. But I think if they do have Brodus Clay dancing, then that'll constitute the comic relief segment.
I totally agree on that. I think it'll be kind of like, it probably will go on longer, but like what Ernest the Cat Miller did in, I believe, 2004 was the year that he came out when like Benoit
think it was
and
04.
Orton. Yeah, it was, because that's the year Benoit won. But yeah, definitely see Brodus Clay taking up a good portion, eliminating a few lower name people and just continuing his dancing. It's definitely going to be the comic relief segment for sure.
I agree.
Yep. No negativity for me on that one.
All in unison, all right.
And if he doesn't, then we're gonna be all confused. It's gonna
I'll
be
blame
Hacksaw doing
Right, it's his
something
fault.
weird.
He's gonna beat somebody. He's gonna sodomize somebody with a 2x4.
So then we have the post-elimination elimination. What I mean by that is when somebody gets eliminated and then they come back and eliminate somebody else, either right afterward or they do what Hogan did to Sid Vicious, or Sid Justice at the time in 1993, where he just pulled him out of the ring. Or maybe they get eliminated, they go to the back and they come back out later, like Shawn Michaels did with Chris Jericho in, 2003, 2002?
Yes, it was 2003.
So I'm kind of expecting that to be one of these three feuds right now, and that's either Barrett and Orton, Kane and Cena, or Miz and Truth. I haven't really decided between them yet, because it kind of depends on who they want for the final four, and that's all kind of crazy right now. But I'm leaning more towards it being Miz and Truth, of maybe Truth coming out and eliminating Miz, and then Miz coming out back into the ring and eliminating Truth, and then battling to the back. So
yeah,
I agree.
I kind of see it more like, Goldust comes back, he ends up eliminating Cody Rhodes from the match after Rhodes has a really strong showing. This is, of course, going to set Cody off. He comes back in the ring, eliminates Goldust, and then proceeds to kind of beat him down. Maybe not as bad as Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels style in 2005, but, still gets the point across and kind of really gets some fuel to the feud as they build up to, what seems to be some sort of Intercontinental title match in the future. I'm going to go on a limb and say that's my elimination scenario.
very, very likely chance. I forgot about Goldust and Cody Rhodes. You got one, Mike?
Me, I'd say Booker T and Cody Rhodes, because they keep having graphics of Booker being in the Rumble. So why not? The feud's not finished yet. Give it a bit more legs beforehand, So I'd say Booker T and Cody Rhodes.
Ace?
I'm actually going with the Miz and Truth. I think Miz is going to have a strong showing. Truth is going to eliminate him, and Miz is just going to go after him.
Then we've got attacked before entrance, kind of self-explanatory. Somebody gets attacked before they can even make an entrance into the Royal Rumble. It happened to
Tony
Bret Hart.
Mango.
It happened with Spike Dudley. It happened with me every year. I actually don't think that this is going to happen this year.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either.
No, I don't see it happening at all either.
Again, Kane attacks somebody, head straight for the ring.
You think it's going to be after Kane gets eliminated, or you think it's going to happen beforehand?
Let's say before. Just because he can. And he'll probably be Ryder.
The way that they're booking that, I wouldn't be
His
surprised.
face off even more.
Ryder limps down the ramp. I'll rush the ring. I don't give a shit.
They still have another Facebook update saying I've just ended up in jail for rushing the ring.
Trying to save Zack Ryder.
Then we've got shock entrance, which, if Chris Dace just jump the barricade and come in, then that'll be a hell of a shock. That could obviously be anybody from somebody who was injured and you didn't think he would come back, like John Cena in 2008, or in my mind, I think Goldust, because he hasn't been announced yet, and there's a couple other people that have been talked about, like Godfather. There was talk that Christian might return. There was talk ahead of time that Randy Orton would. Now, of course, he is in it. The McFoley stuff, possibility of Hornswoggle, which I'm really, really hoping doesn't happen. Even the Hacksaw stuff. I mean, there's a lot of people that they're talking about right now, but if I had to say that any of them is a guarantee, I would say it would be Goldust.
Yeah. I think he's pretty well who everybody's expecting to see, which would kind of be a surprise if he didn't. But I truly think Christian's going to make his comeback in this match. I think this is where he's going to come back and build on to whatever he's going to do at the road to WrestleMania.
Money in the Bank.
It's like every other year almost.
Right.
No, other than being Edge's cheerleader last year, but yeah, I think this is where he comes back. I think he'll be a shock entrant.
On this one. Christian returns. There's no other reason why they should do it. It has to be Christian returns.
You got a couple people for this, don't you, Dace?
Oh, I've got a boatload list. I want MVP to return. He's been talking about the WWE lately. I'd like to see Piper, because Piper is just always interesting to listen to. Just to be a little kid, I'd like to see The Rock, because I would jump out of my chair so high I'd probably fall. So, I mean, I don't know. Christian I can see definitely returning, and Goldust, so they would have to be my picks. Those would be my picks, but being a little child that I am, I want to see so many more. They should have stuck with 40 this year.
You know what? I was going to talk about that next week, actually, but we can touch upon that now. I think there's a lot of shock entrances that they're talking about, and there's a lot of people that aren't going to get on the card. They might as well have just stuck to the 40, but maybe Shelton Benjamin's going to come back, and then Brodus Clay's going to call his mama.
Shelton Benjamin just leaps in from the audience.
So that takes us to Nostalgia Competitor, and we kind of just talked about this. It's basically the same, a little bit of an overlap, though. McFoley is apparently in it. Goldust seems to be a lock. Talk about the Papa Shango stuff and everything like that. So,
The Rock.
The
Rock. I would love to see him. I think it would be.
He'll make a surprise appearance.
Yeah,
I think he'll make a surprise appearance and eliminate Cena.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the off chance. I don't know. Does the Undertaker even count as a nostalgic competitor?
I don't know. He's kind of
even if like a gong happens.
I'll be constituted.
Say, ooh, he's coming back. Like that's a long shot. I think with Mick Foley's obviously going to be a nostalgic competitor. He's announced for the match. We're pretty sure Goldust is going to be in it, but that's maybe the Godfather will maybe do something at the event. But beyond that, I don't really see any other nostalgic competitors competing. Maybe Road Dogg.
Oh, you didn't know?
Road Dogg, yeah. God, man, I keep forgetting about Road Dogg. Road Dogg, all right. Yeah, he's another one that they're talking about that he should be showing up. So now you brought that up, I can definitely see that happening, which means even less points for me in my 30-man entrant prediction. Damn it.
For shame, Mango, for shame.
And we've got the tag team succession, where one tag team partner enters right after the other one, either the next one or two afterward. I don't think the Usos are going to be in this at all. So if any tag team is in it, it's got to be Primo and Epico. And that's the only tag team I can see having this kind of thing. And if it's not them, then it's nobody.
Epico and Primo, that's what I'm going with.
I don't see any team having that kind of succession, to be completely honest. Like, as you said, if it's not, Primo and Epico, then who else is going to do it?
Air Boom, minus Evan Bourne. Because Keith is going to be standing there waiting for someone to come in.
Just a boom, no air.
Evan Bourne comes back under the new gimmick called Spice. They become Sugar and Spice.
Boo.
Yeah, I had to, though. Come on. Spawn feud. When somebody eliminates somebody and then they start a feud right afterward. I don't think this is happening this year either.
No, neither do I, because the eliminations, like even the post eliminations are feuds that kind of have already been sparked. Like whatever does go down, there's already heat between the two, so technically the feud hasn't started; it's just continuing.
Right.
If anything, it's just going to build onto feuds that are already going on.
Right. I don't think we're gonna have like a Sid Hogan thing that we did in the past. It's happened a lot between people, but I don't think this year they're doing it.
Yeah, most notably, Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle's feud started at the Royal Rumble.
Right.
When they had
Lesnar and Goldberg too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lesnar and Goldberg's another good one. So do you guys think anything of that? I mean, Braden's
Nah.
no, but Dace, Mike?
No, unless
No.
because it keeps saying anybody's eligible for this Royal Rumble. So if a champ walks in and eliminates somebody, maybe that. I don't know.
I hope not. I hope they leave the guys with the world titles out of it.
I can't stress that more too. Like, world champions should not be involved in the Royal Rumble. That completely discredits what the entire match is about.
Unless they challenge themselves and they win. Main event of WrestleMania, they stand in the ring. Something Jericho would do.
Something Daniel Bryan will probably do.
The big man team up, where you need a whole bunch of people that try to eliminate a big guy. It's usually somebody like a Mark Henry or Viscera, something like that, but we don't have Viscera anymore, and Mark Henry's doubtedly going to be in it. So there's only two real options here, I'm thinking, and that's Kane and Brodus Clay. But I don't think anybody's going to actually do that this year. I think that Kane is going to eliminate Brodus Clay all on his own. And I think a couple people might try to do it to Kane, or they might try to do it to Brodus, but it won't be successful.
Yeah, I can see that. Actually, I see Sheamus clearing out Kane or Cena if Super Cena's in it.
Yeah, for a big man team up, Big Show, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he might be someone who they do that to, if he ends up being, as I predicted, an entrant in the Royal Rumble. I think he's the only real person I can see doing that because, Kane would probably be the only one to be able to eliminate Brodus Clay. That takes him out for everybody to try and eliminate him. Somebody strong like a Sheamus or a Cena is going to be the one to eliminate Kane. I'm going to say Big Show is probably, if he's in the Royal Rumble, is going to be the only one where, they do that too, and it wouldn't be the first time.
Mike? Did we lose you, Mike?
No.
Do you have a big man team up idea, or not going to happen?
As I said before, I think Kane, because he's going to clean house, be the biggest SOB in the Rumble, and then a few of the guys just going to jump in and sort of try and get him out there, maybe with Cena, throw the guy over the top rope, and then he eliminates Cena or something like that. I don't see anybody else that deserves the distinction of getting eliminated.
And then the house cleaners, these are the people that show up and kind of clear the ring a little bit. Not necessarily everybody, but they weed through some of the jobbers and kind of make it go from 8 people down to 3, that kind of stuff. I'm thinking there's going to be 3 of them this year, and that's going to be Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Kane. And maybe to a smaller extent, John Cena. Maybe Cena and Kane kind of split it between the two of them. I don't know, but I'm definitely expecting Randy Orton to be one of them and Sheamus to be the one at the very beginning of the match. So, anybody else have any predictions? Or?
Yeah, those are pretty well my predictions too. Sheamus for the early portion, Orton, towards the end, and then, I predicted Kane to be the final entrant. So Kane, when he gets in the ring, he'll be the final one to just throw a whole bunch of people out. So, yeah, I say Kane, Orton, and Sheamus for sure.
Completely agree. Those are the 3 that I would think do it.
Yep, totally agree with you, Tony.
And the second to the last of these categories, the shockingly quick elimination. Not necessarily the person who gets eliminated the fastest, but the person who everybody thought was going to last a lot longer. A couple of things that spring to mind is, I remember one year, Shelton Benjamin, who was on kind of a roll, got eliminated in about 15 seconds or something like that in one of them. And that just confused the hell out of me. But this year, I'm thinking Cody Rhodes. I don't think he's going to last more than maybe maybe like 3 minutes or so, and he should be one of those guys that lasts quite a while. But I'm thinking Goldust pops up pretty soon afterwards, and they have their little thing.
Yeah, I think Cody as well, because he's somebody who's clearly ready for the main event, but can have a quick elimination still. He's a transitioning main eventer.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say everybody who you think is going to have a good shot at staying long in the Royal Rumble will. I don't think anybody is going to be eliminated shockingly quick. Everybody, Rhodes I think is going to have a decent portion in the match. Ziggler I think is going to have a decent portion in the match. The Miz as well. I don't see anybody who gets eliminated quickly to shock me. I think everybody who is a big enough star is going to get a good amount of time in the Rumble themselves. I don't see it happening.
Mike?
Yeah, for me, it's I don't know really, because as a way with Cody, he hasn't really been booked into anything else as of yet. He's been having those little feuds with Justin Gabriel. So for now, I'm going to call it as in maybe a long shot, maybe Rhodes and Goldust, maybe.
So the final out of these is the final four, and that'll lead us into a little recap of who we think is going to win the match. There's a lot of talk about this being a twist ending and everything like that. So as far as I'm concerned, these final four and winners things, they go completely out the window. We're blind guessing here. But my final four: Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Wade Barrett, and John Cena. And I can kind of see Orton getting eliminated by Barrett, or Orton eliminating Barrett, and Cena kind of eliminating whoever does that, and Jericho eliminating Cena last or something like that. Even though Cena has no purpose in this, I'm still very hesitant to not think that they don't keep him in there. But I can also see Cena being eliminated earlier with Kane, and then having Randy Orton be the final person that Chris Jericho throws out. And I'm actually leaning more towards that than anything else now. I'm thinking Jericho, Wade, Orton, and then either Cena or maybe even Sheamus. I don't know. But the final two people out of the final four being Orton and Jericho winning.
I'll pretty much go with the same actually. Barrett, Orton, Jericho, Cena, and I take it as Cena being eliminated by Kane, or Kane and Jericho winning the Rumble, and Barrett and Orton eliminating each other.
So for this, do we go into detail on why we think our certain winner is going to win?
You can touch on it.
Okay, so basically, for my predicted entrance for the Royal Rumble, I had Chris Jericho coming out at number 2. I think he's going to do his whole pander, trolling around sort of thing, take up time in his entrance. And then as soon as the bell rings, I kind of see him, ducking out under the ropes, walking all the way to the back, and basically just getting booed right at the beginning of the match. Then you wait for the third entrant to come out. So then you basically forget about him throughout the rest of the match. So basically, he's automatically my final 4 because he's, my predicted winner. But the other 3 I have in it are Randy Orton, Wade Barrett, and Sheamus. Now I could see Sheamus being the one to overpower Kane and be the guy to eliminate him, and then Barrett gets a cheap elimination off of Sheamus eliminating the Monster Kane, and then we're down to Orton and Barrett. Obviously the crowd's gonna think these are the final 2. They go back and forth. Orton ends up getting the better of Barrett, eliminating him. The hometown crowd thinks Orton's won the Rumble, and then out of nowhere Jericho comes back through the crowd, tosses Orton over the top rope, wins the Rumble, and that's pretty much it. So Jericho's my winner, and my final 4 are Jericho, Orton, Barrett, and Sheamus.
And Dace?
Those 4 that he just said, those are probably going to be the last 4 in there, and Jericho winning. I would assume similar fashion to Jerry the King Lawler hiding and then sneaking back in there. So the Jerry trolling will happen tomorrow.
All right, so that's pretty much it for the Royal Rumble talk. At the next show, we will go over the Royal Rumble, do a full review, let you know which one of us had the most predictions right for the 1 to 30 entrances, and if we all just had the Miz right, then that'll be very, very sad,
Yay.
but it's a possibility.
What about incentives? Do we get incentives of, like, whoever wins?
No, because you're not even in it.
Yeah, you kind of missed that show.
I told you I was being anally violated by China. I had reasons.
Uh,
It's a good excuse.
He
But
couldn't sit down to look in front of his laptop. His ass was hurting too much.
so stay tuned for all that kind of stuff. We will have that up the usual Saturday show. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of the show this week. Anything else you guys want to touch upon?
Yep, I'm doing a playthrough at the moment of Dark Souls. It's me mostly getting destroyed by demons, but you're more welcome to take a look. Go to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com BBAYM. Also check out my articles at nerdgenius.com, www.nerdgenious.com. Yep, that's pretty much me. Anybody else?
Like I said, I'll be at the Royal Rumble this weekend. If you guys want to stop by, do an interview for Smark Out Moment, I am more than willing to conduct one. Just I'm not going to go looking for you. You have to come look for me.
You are in the 100 section?
Yes. No, 105 or 109. I'm there.
I don't know. He'll be the guy yelling out Smark Out Moment, probably, and wearing a bunch of rider gear, most likely.
I'm
Yeah, and
probably getting
yelling.
hit by a camera.
Yeah, and yelling woo woo like for no reason at all.
Right.
He'll do like a fist pump and then the camera smacks his face.
okay, and I'll just close off with a shameless YouTube plug. I'll just plug my YouTube of wrestling and video game videos at www.youtube.com/spoodbeast, SPOODBEEST. And yeah, that's about it.
So that's the unlucky episode 13. This has been a Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out. See you next time.
This is an outro. This such an outro. This is a real outro.
I think it's appropriate that the British guy did it.